Hey, good morning, everybody. Morning, RP. Morning, Ed. Morning, Larry. Morning, Arturo, Valerie. Morning, myself, Michael, Brian. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Morning, morning. All right. Well, I know what you want me to tell you. You want me to tell you that everything is all right. We're all done with this correction. We're going higher. I need to mute my phone. There we go. Right? I mean, that's what everybody wants to hear. All good, right? Unfortunately, we're not quite there. So, yeah, I made a joke in the chat. If you want to chat with me like all those fine folks so far, Yabar, Alan, Maurizio, Terry, good morning, everybody. All you got to do, click the button right here where the monster can is. It's a little green overlay, little box. Click that button, be a subscriber to the channel, and as long as you're not on an iPhone, I guess, you'll see the chat. So there you go. There is everybody jumping in the chat. Good morning. And yeah, that's the only requirement. You got to be a subscriber. Now, prudent people, if you like the content, give me a thumbs up, but also hit that bell with the doodads, click it to all notifications. That way, if YouTube thinks you'll watch it, you'll get notified when I go live, which is every freaking morning. I try to do this to help you get ahead in the markets and keep your thumb on the pulse of what's happening. So you don't have to watch this every day, but it's here every day, just in case you do. So there we go. All right. Now, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. All investing does too. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. I may never get another freaking thing right again, although the track record is pretty good at this point. And this presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining, really. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument. Don't buy stocks. Don't buy options. Don't buy cryptos. Don't buy futures. Don't buy Forex. Don't buy that crap. Don't sell it either. And if you desire personal financial advice, you got to hire and consult a financial advisor as a fiduciary duty legally to give you advice based on your financial situation. That's not me. All right. I'm just out here. I'm just a dude trying to help other dudes and dudettes get ahead with some stuff. So anyway, all right, keep your FOMO in check. All right. So at this point, everybody wants me to say, it's all good. Don't worry about it. It's kind of like the line in Pulp Fiction. I want you to tell me everything's okay, all good. I don't got nothing to worry about. Well, we'll talk about it, but it's not quite that cleared up yet. We have a nice reversal going. Nice one going. We stopped right at the 100% extension of the first move up yesterday. It kind of freaked me out a little bit, honestly. Hopefully, with the PCE reaction, we're kind of getting that continuation I was hoping for. We'll see if we can get the next move up. And if you're in Discord, I'll keep you updated. Otherwise, you'll have to wait till Monday to really see how today shakes out, because it's not going to get resolved during this show here today. But I'll carry you through the open. All right, we have PCE. Let's go ahead and refresh this one. And I don't know, I guess we still got yesterday's stuff open here. PCE came out right here. Came in little red. And the market loved it, right? What does that mean? It means cuts could be, the way the market interprets that is that cuts could be in the future. Now, cuts aren't necessarily bullish for the market. That's the ridiculous thing. History has shown that rate raises are actually bullish for the market. That's reverse psychology for everybody. Ultimately, rate raises are bullish for the market. That's time and time we've seen it play out over and over. Maybe it's the psychology of the whole thing, but it's kind of been the way it is. Usually when we're cutting, that means everything's bad and the market goes down the toilet. So just think about it. When things are really good, they're raising rates and we go higher. It's people talk about rate raises are bad for the market. We raise rates during periods of good economic output in the U.S. So technically, raising rates is positive for the stock market. the mind shift from what the mainstream media blabs, right? I mean, whatever, mainstream media, they have more eyeballs than I do. Maybe at some point, if you guys like and share and, subscribe, that I can reach more eyeballs, help more people see the truth. But at this point, I'm just a voice with about 3,000 people following, and I appreciate you, each and every one. All right. Consumer sentiment coming out at 10 o'clock. New revised University of Michigan consumer sentiment. We'll see how that kind of rocks and rolls. And wow, a bunch more people jumping in here. Infinity, Lucero, butchered your name, sorry. Space Cowboy, Andrew, Ted, Rick, Gary, Val, Michael. You did it again. Back to back Michaels. Love it. Donald, Nikki, Pat. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. And happy Friday. As I joked up there, way up in the chat, Friday. What are we having? French fries today? Yeah. So anyway, crappy joke, right? All right. S&P, where are we at? Back up into the roadmap line yesterday. We did touch down here. We did rally up in here. And I don't really want to see us break this zone. This is kind of like, don't go below 42.37. Hopefully. All right. Are we all clear yet? No. The level I talked about yesterday, right up here, 43.36. Got to be above that. Then we've got to clear this resistance up here. Then we got to clear this one up here. All right. We have layers of resistance above us that we have to get confirmation that we're going higher. All right. We'll probably do one of these dudes. We'll probably do one of these deals where we do this wicked retrace, kind of freak people out. The S5FI, jump over here, stocks above the 50-day moving average right here. Need to refresh that list too before we get there. We came back up to the 20 line, but we couldn't break into it yesterday. All right. Now look, historically, a few days below, maybe get a pop above, revisit one more time, and then take off. That corresponds to this kind of situation. All right. And it doesn't just happen. It's not just the last one. Look, right there. Popped up, retraced again, and go. This one again. We did it a couple times. We popped up, retraced, popped up, retraced, and go. And kind of go back here a long ways. Yeah, that one, we kind of did it down here a little bit, and then we did a little retrace, came up short, and then took off. So we do typically get that retrace. Like that one came up off the bottom, retraced, and then went. That one popped up, retrace, go. That was on the way down. So that's all the way back to 2018, 19. So we don't pop below the 20 historically. We don't pop below the 20 very often. All right, look, that's a long time. Long time. We did it in 2022 a couple times. This is the most bearish the market's been in a while right here. We don't tend to hang out down here very long. Hey, Kimberly's here, everybody. And Chris, good to see you as always. Hannah and Ibrahim. Sorry if I butchered that. Morning and welcome. Good afternoon. Well, good afternoon for you. Yeah, people, that's the beauty of YouTube. I can talk to people all around the world, and all you got to do is click the button and you can watch me. So there we go. Potential reversal forming. That stock's above the 50-day moving average. And if you're like, well, JT, what about NDFI? NASDAQ stock's above the 50-day. Look at that. Nice reversal there, too. Really nice. That's looking pretty strong. We could see another dip. Be careful. We could see another dip. Typically we see another dip. All right. A higher low before we actually get going. Just be careful. Be careful. All right. I tend to watch the S&P S5FI because it's kind of a broad market indicator. All right. A lot of the NASDAQ stocks are included in the S&P 500. So it kind of gives me a broad feel. of what's happening, crapping out there. Now, yes, nice 30-point potential. We could see a 100-point update. We could. That would confirm the reversal here off the roadmap line. For all the, I know that most of you are coming, you're like, JT, we believe you. But there's some doubters out here. I'm telling you, I hear from them. Look how well that roadmap line held up. Potentially reversing off here. Excuse me, Monster talking back to me this morning. Strawberry dream. It's kind of like a strawberry pina colada kind of situation. It's pretty tasty. Pretty tasty. Anyway, we break above that little consolidation right there. And I have the alert right at the bottom of it, right at the top of that big red candle from just a couple of days back. But really, this zone is kind of like this. It touches the top of that big red one, touches the top of the doji, the hammer, or whatever you want to call it, the croquet hammer. Right there, the red candle with the big long top tail. I call them tails, I call them wicks, I call them all sorts of things. Candle people probably get upset at me. But right there, we break up through that box, direction's probably going up. All right, hey Ben, morning, Al, morning. And afternoon for Ibrahim, Ibrahim, however you, Ibrahim. I can butcher that name all day long with my southern U.S. accent. All right. NASDAQ right here, potentially looking pretty good. Now, if we compare that same pattern right here, that same resistance, NASDAQ has it, same spot, but we're actually pushing into it. All right, this is looking pretty positive for NASDAQ. We came up short of the roadmap line. That's not always the best thing to see. That means we'll pay for it later, some point down the road. But that's positive. That's a positive right there. Russell getting a nice fat gap up. And if you're unsure what these are futures. All right, when the mainstream media is like on the news talking about, oh, the S&P is going to open up, blah, 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 30 points right there. That's where they get it, all right, from the futures market. And right now, that's ES is S&P 500. All right. NQ is NASDAQ. And RTY is the Russell. Like that would be SPY for ES. It'd be QQQ for NASDAQ. And it'd be IWM for Russell. We're getting a nice fat gap up on IWM potentially. For those of you that follow the day trade, we could see a move down today. But this is looking like we might get continuation, especially if we can break out higher here this morning. All right, pre-market 178, that's above the box. Potentially, we may get continuation higher. At least a ramp back up to the roadmap line. We break above that. And we did come up a little shy of completing the head and shoulders. But if we break it back above this orange box right there, that one, this level, these levels right here, odds are we're done. We didn't complete, we didn't all the way get to the target. Now, we did test the bottom of the orange box and we held it. Going higher, that can be a measured bounce setup. That could take us significantly higher in the markets. So there's a positive there. Oil still hanging out. We may see a bigger retrace after tagging that target. All right. Be careful long oil. It's very overbought. It's very, there's a lot of news stories talking about how this is going to 150 right now. Perfect opportunity to rip a bunch of oil traders. Please be careful. Does it have to go down? No. Is it dangerous right now? Yes. Was it good to go long back here when I said to go long? Yes. Or when I went long? Yes. I booked my profits out up in here. All right, we did get the little extension I was looking for. I didn't hold on for the final pop. All right. Now, we could see a big retrace. It's it's kind of a coin flip. All right. We could see it break out. Are we going to 150 right now? Probably not without a significant retrace. So be careful on oil. I've seen a lot of hype. Got to get long oil. There's a lot of bullish catalysts. Like the Cushing stocks are almost barrel empty. Like the CL is a contract for delivery in Cushing, Oklahoma, and they have lots of large tanks. All right, in 2020, during the cerveza virus, we saw those tanks filled right up to the top, and they had nowhere to put it, and oil went negative. Right now, we're seeing the opposite. Those tanks are at tank minimums. All right, like you can't actually drain the thing out all the way, because then it creates problems for the operation of the tank. But we're at tank minimums, essentially. And a lot of people looking at that as super bullish, but be careful. Be careful. Be careful. All right. The market is very efficient at ripping people when everybody's on the same narrative. Be careful. Gold, doing that watermelon seed squeeze breakout to the downside. If we hold below, we could see this extend right down in here to the 1830, possibly even 1800 area, even 1785. All right, please be careful. That was the watermelon seed squeeze. It popped to the bottom, and it can get continuation lower before we can find a bottom. That's gold. Bitcoin, working on. It's working really hard. It's got that resistance to get above, working really hard at it. And then it's got this one up here to clear. And then we've got this one up here to clear. It's working really hard at trying to push higher. Target right up in here, just a higher high. 33,000 potentially. But we need confirmation. Breaking above these, confirmation. Breaking above this level is the conservative confirmation. All right, this is aggressive right in here. If you get long now, you're aggressive. All right, if you're looking for these targets up here, 33, 34, 36,000. Those are the upside targets. But we got to get confirmation. We can reject at any of these resistance levels in here and go lower again. Ethereum, that's pretty positive. We need it above that roadmap line though. Do have the resistance there. We got this resistance up here. And we've got, there's some stuff it's got to work through, as I say. Got to work through that one. Got to work through this crap up here. Then potentially we could go on the extension, and it actually raises now with the depth of this decline, raises up to about 2,300 to 2,500 for the next push higher. Potentially right out here. I do suspect we'll get a pop, and then we'll probably get a retrace into the halving event next year for Bitcoin. Should be right out here in March, April. Probably see a pop, probably see a retrace, and then game on after the halving. We'll probably see a very large bull run the back half of 2024 into 2025, and then 2026 will likely be a big down year again, losing up to 70% of the value. So, short you can go short a lot of the ETFs in 2020, late 2025, out to 2026 or 7. Dollar, and just retracing a little bit. Done this before, right here, did it before, right here, before we went ripping again. So watch out for that one to continue the journey to 108. Could it hold right here at 107? Yeah, it could. That's a 50% retrace. We could just find resistance there. We consolidated there before. Makes sense to consolidate there again. Right there. There's supply there. We break through it at all. Probably coming on up to 108. All right. Stuff moving today. And the market's open for a few minutes now. Let's get her at her. Let's break above this stuff. Come on. All right. GPCR, I'm not even sure. Structure Therapeutics. It sounds like a biotech. Oh, it says commercial services down here. I don't know. Maybe that's somebody's funny play on like a janitorial service or something. Nice. Nice pop. I don't have a long history. I can't really speak to the bigger trend here. If that was the IPO, we're likely to make a lower, well, we already did make a lower low than we IPO'd for if that was the IPO. It could go, it could go higher, but it's more likely to retrace some of that gap. ASML, nice pop, but ultimately the bigger trend pattern looks like we're going to head down here, and we could come up to the roadmap line, retest it before we get the final extension down. Nike getting a nice pop on earnings, but beating on the top, missing on the bottom, and I don't know. It could come up and test the roadmap line, but that's still looking like a really bearish chart here. And the reaction after the open, bleeding it off, that's not super positive. Hate to tell you. Lulu, different story. That one looking like we could possibly go higher here. I got a bunch of crap drawn on here. Let's kind of remove some of these. It held that downtrend, popped up, retrace. That was a beautiful move right there off of the roadmap line. Holding that 618. That can go on another extension. 414, 424 on the upside for Lulu, potentially. Is pushing back above that. Looking pretty positive. Apron. Nice pop up above the roadmap line, but geez, this chart looks pretty gnarly. Big reverse split back there is not positive. We could see some irrational move higher. We've got supply and supply. Got supply zones, which are resistance, like right here. Oh, excuse my stomach, is making a crazy sound. And supply right up here. SOXX. Well, that came right down to the... That could be it. We can be on the move higher now. Aggressively, now is kind of an entry. More conservatively, above 515. Looking for 558 and 585. Looks pretty sweet, actually. Looks pretty sweet. NVDA, that could be it for now. We could do a significant retrace higher on after that drop. Come back up in here. Long term, though, this looks like it's going to come down. Please be careful. Please, please, please. Everyone wants to know about AMD, I'm sure. We got to break that downtrend line. Came up to it this morning, opened right there, getting a rejection off of it. Till we get above this stuff, you know, we got to break out of the trend line first, then we got to make a higher high than one of these prior highs right here. Quit making lower highs. Rejecting off of that, going lower, breaking below this, sets us up to go down here. All right? It's not being wrong, it's staying wrong. It costs you the money. Like, you went long already on AMD. When it proves that it's not going higher, make sure you close your trade. All right? It's not being wrong that costs you money, it's staying wrong. If you stay long in the face of a situation where we get confirmation of continuation lower, you're going to be upside down for a good long time until this completes and we start reversing again. Now, if we get the breakout, it's all hunky-dory. All right? Know your trade. FNGU, potentially bouncing right off the roadmap line. Pretty nice potential setup. Aggressive, you could go on the gap fill. Maybe JT, I can't see a gap fill. Look right here. Gap fill right there. I wouldn't really be looking long until it did the gap fill and we got above it. That leaves a lot of runway for the next potential high. If we're going to get continuation, conservatively, you want to wait till we're above 195. Looking for 252, 283 on the upside. Really nice one there. If we can get confirmation of going higher. SMCI, nice potential. Nice potential. The conservative entry is not until we're above 309. Aggressively, you can jump it now. Looking for 390, 435. Netflix, it mucked up. Like, it had a really nice setup. Now it's kind of mucked it up aggressively. Not really an entry till we're back above 397, and then conservatively not till we're above till we're about 453, which would be a long way up, and then we'd be looking for 515 which would gap fill. And that may happen on earnings. Like it could go pop right up there. That was really nice. Meta held up amazingly well in this correction. Held Echo breaking above. That's today's the entry. Looking for the next extensions up to. I know it's. Let me zoom it up. Those are the next extensions: 318 and 424, possibly breaking out up to 337. That's an entry. Actually, I should pull it down just a little bit. And 319, 328. That's an entry. I may have to buy a couple shares just to see. ALB. This thing mucked up the head and shoulders. Just go ahead and remove that. Didn't do that. Doing something else. That's not bullish. Not even a bullish reversal, even though the 1272 right there. For gosh sakes, be careful. That's a little bit of gambling at this point. That on a reversal, that's just not enough information to discern one at this point for me. ZS looks like we may push higher. Target was 172 and 183 above that. Excuse me. Got a little drainage going on. That's driving me a little crazy. Baidu, just kind of sitting here. Right on the roadmap line. Right in between the support and resistance. Support down here, resistance up here. Hanging out in the middle. Right on the roadmap line. Not bullish. That's why there's a giant blue arrow sideways. That's what that trend is right there. Tesla looking like that was it. I draw lots of stuff on Tesla. We pretty much did the roadmap line. Like that was pretty much it. I went long again, some TSLL. We do have a little bit of resistance right there. Want to see that get continuation higher. Again, confirmation on a break above this stuff up here. When we did that double top thing right there, I liquidated my TSLL before, bought it back down here. Confirmation when we break above that we're going on up to 322, possibly 350. We do have earnings coming up. Earnings are typically bearish for Tesla. We do have a pending Cybertruck release. They're basically ramping up to release Cybertruck. Could that ignite this thing on fire? It darn well could. All right. Apron being acquired. Okay. I don't really dive into all these. I just pick up what's moving. So, yeah. PANW just kind of sideways, stuck in here. Got to get continuation above this to go long. That double top right there. Move up through that can take us up to 274, 294. Otherwise, we could be in for move down here to 180, 190 area. Crocs. Whew, after that one being rocking earlier in the year. Ouch. It's so close to the target. God, that was close. I drew that back in July. And that's what, this was the warning. Bouncing off that 618, continuation lower. We got the 100%. Wouldn't surprise me to see the 1272, but that could be it. Could. A break back above here. It's probably the indication that we're going to do the higher thing. And it may also have the roadmap line with it at the same time by the time we get there. So I'll break up through that. Take us back to those prior highs right there to retest that zone. There you go. There's Crocs. DKS. That looks pretty horrible. Right to the extension. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. That could be a bottom. I wouldn't buy it until we're back above the roadmap line, but there you go. Snow. Still working on that bearish pattern. We've held that resistance yesterday. or support, I mean, held that support. If we can get back above this high, probably going for 205, 220. If we don't get back above that high, which high, JT? This high, right there, that one. Got to get above that high. If we don't do that, this is the 100's the target. Spot. I'm getting back long spot. 195, 213. Should have done that yesterday. CRWD. Yeah. 173, 183. SEDG. Nice pop, but that looks pretty bearish. That's a complete dumpster fire right there. How low can she go? She can go to 0. But we're right at the 1272 support. A little bit below it. That was at 142. We're a little bit below it. If we can reverse out of here, get back above this little support. Goose, I know you're still long this, probably. Get back above that. Turns the tides to going higher. This may have been the flush out. This needed to go higher again. And last but not least, Amazon. Back to the roadmap line. Beautiful potential setup right here. Bounced right off aggressively. There's your entry. More conservatively, you want to wait till we're back above 139. Looking for 151, 159. And there were no bears on the list. No bears at all. There were no bearish movers moving more than $2. So there you go. That's the list for today. Expectation. I want to see continuation. I don't want to see a stop right here. Gotta see continuation. We may retrace that back down a little bit. If we reject that, all the same levels still apply. All right, we got to get above here. Got to get above here. Got to get above here. If we get below here, 42.37, we could see 41.61. All right. Can I show spot again? You can rewind it. Spot. Man, my finger was on the wrong key. There. Oh, wrong chart. Spot again. Right there. Zoomed up tight. There you go. Got that resistance, but we break above it. And 195, 213. Potential. There you go. And this one, just on a whim, I bought some $5 calls yesterday for 6 cents. Those things are looking pretty sweet. Only bought like 100 of them. Anyway, that was a pretty sweet trade. I did that for the Termite Trading Lab people, and yeah, it's not any kind of fib pattern. It's a different thing. So, have a great day out there, everybody. We'll see you later. I'm not gonna explain that one in Discord. You can join the Termite Trading Lab if you want to know about SIRI, Sirius XM. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. And yeah, make sure, as PD says, make sure you hit the like, share buttons. Share it with somebody you think would enjoy this content. And I'll see you later. See you on Monday. Bye. Thanks for now.